Hi, and welcome to the Corporate Life Podcast. My name is Hina Siddiqui, and I loved and hated my corporate jobs for years. This podcast is going to empower you to go high on your career without losing yourself. I invite you to join me each week as you will hear real cool stories of the real cool corporate people doing real things in the corporate world. And their experiences and advice can change your story too. Hi, how are you doing? I'm your host Hina Siddiqui, and you are listening to the Corporate Life Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about something really important. This episode is going to be short but really crisp and highly valuable because this is about what you need the most, and not just in your corporate job, but just in every single area of your life. It's your conversation skill, right? And by the way, I have written a whole book on conversation skills. It's called How to Be a People Person. You can go check it out, and the link is in the show notes section. We talk a lot about the importance of great communication, and most of us, especially in the corporate world, strive to improve our communication skills. Conversation is a form of interactive and spontaneous communication, and a good conversationalist builds great relationships. We all agree. Oftentimes, our conversations go off track and end up being useless. That leads to arguments, disputes, and bitter relationships. And that's something we don't want, right? When it comes to looking for a job, most people get it wrong. They would keep on using their one and only resume to apply for any and every open job position in their industry without getting clear on what's right for them. They would avoid correct and targeted networking and stay dependent on job sites. And the truth is that over 70% of jobs are never posted on job boards or job websites. Plus the wrong and scarcity mindset and lack of self-belief, and this is huge. But unfortunately, most job seekers don't deal with this, and no wonder that they keep on struggling with their job hunt, and most of them will make a compromise by accepting just any random job because they want money to pay the bills, which is a valid reason. If that's you, come join me on my job search coaching program where I guide you through with the right strategy, your mindset upgrade, which is about 80% in all my programs, and taking inspired and focused consistent action. You may book a free strategy call with me. Find the link on the episode page. So let's first talk about how to be a good conversationalist. This world produces plenty of people who lack the good conversational ability that expresses opinions but does not offend or turn off relationships. A good conversationalist can discuss any topic in an open, inviting manner that gets the message across in a positive fashion. Unfortunately, even those with the best of intentions can destroy great relationships when they say things that easily get misinterpreted. The good news is that there are ways to carry a civil conversation even on polarizing topics if you know how to focus your words so they carry your intent. While the easy answer is to avoid discussing any topic that stirs up controversy, that is not always possible, nor is it healthy to do it at times. I'm going to give you a few tips on how to avoid getting into useless conversations that lead to arguments, disputes, and even the breaking of relationships. So the first is use positive words. Always be positive in your approach and thinking so that your words carry the meaning that reflects how you want them to be received. By staying positive, you avoid the arguments or disputes that otherwise might arise if you were to use negative words. Phrase controversial points in the form of questions. A question is open to being answered rather than disputed. When you state strong opinions, do so in the form of a question. For example, if you voted for candidate X who might be controversial, state your reason simply, directly, but end with a question such as, did candidate Y address the concerns that I have stated? By using questions, you open the door to responses. Speak from your perspective. Perhaps the easiest way to keep the conversation civil and productive is to speak from your perspective. If someone has said or done something that you find inappropriate, do not lash out at them. When you use the phrase like, I felt slighted when you said something, takes the onus off them and puts it on you. Put in preset limits. If you're going to discuss topics that are controversial, state beforehand the areas that you do not want to discuss or can agree to disagree. This takes at least some of the tension away from the conversations and instead focuses them on the areas where you want to have a positive discussion. Be careful not to bring up the areas you have said were off limits to avoid any unnecessary confusion or aggravation. Listen, nothing is more important than listening to those who disagree. Consider what they have stated and understand that even when you do not agree with their point of view. The cornerstone of healthy conversation is the ability to listen, acknowledge, and incorporate what the other person says so that it removes any perception of hostility. A good conversationalist can steer virtually any discussion into a positive experience. It takes a little practice, but the results are well worth the effort in keeping great relationships intact. By working on your conversational ability, you can have healthy, productive discussions face to face or on the internet. This means avoiding useless conversations, which brings down everyone involved. All right, so now I'm sure that you got some tips on how to not get into the useless discussions or useless conversations that lead to arguments, dispute, or disagreement. So that's it for this week. I'll be back next week with another interesting topic. And in the meantime, don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know how you like this episode. Love you guys and girls. Stay happy and safe. Thank you for tuning in. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and go to my website, authorhina.com, for career changing tools and resources. And don't forget to check out my latest book, Secrets of the Six-Figure Employee with Zero Stress. It's available on Amazon.